Welcome and thank you for listening to this Paragon Edge audio blog. As the payments industry moves forward in 2026, one theme is unmistakable. The pace of change continues to accelerate. Artificial intelligence, real time payments, embedded finance, and digital identity are no longer experimental concepts. They are rapidly becoming operational realities. According to industry leaders, the next 2 years will redefine how money moves, how identities are verified, and how customers interact with financial services. But even as innovation accelerates, the operational risks around payments rise just as fast or faster. The challenge for banks and financial services companies is no longer whether this rapid change will happen, but whether their existing systems, processes, and people are able to react and respond. Payments Dive reports that executives from Visa, MasterCard, ACI Worldwide, and WEX expect AI-driven identity, real-time payments, and embedded finance to become core components of the payments ecosystem by 2026. The predictions outlined in the Payments Dive article make it clear that payments innovation is expanding across multiple dimensions at once. AI is being applied to identity verification and fraud prevention. Real-time payment rails are becoming standard rather than supplemental. Embedded payments are extending financial services into non-bank platforms, particularly in B2B and fleet ecosystems. Each of these trends introduces new transaction paths, new integration points, and new opportunities for failure. While the commercial upside is significant, so is the operational risk and complexity banks must manage behind the scenes. The article highlights how Visa and MasterCard see digital identity and AI-powered authentication as foundational to the next phase of payments growth. For global networks like Visa and MasterCard, the future of payments depends on maintaining trust at scale. As transactions become faster and more transparent to the end user, identity verification and fraud detection mechanisms must continually react to new threat vectors while operating seamlessly and unobtrusively in the background. This evolution of technology and operational risk places significant pressure on issuing banks and processors. Any change to authentication flows or transaction logic must be validated thoroughly, as even minor errors can lead to false declines, customer dissatisfaction, or even more payment fraud. Payments Dive notes that ACI Worldwide and WEX expect real-time payments and embedded B2B transactions to expand rapidly by 2026. ACI Worldwide has long been associated with real-time payments infrastructure, and its outlook for 2026 reinforces the idea that instant transactions will become the norm rather than the exception. At the same time, WEX points to continued growth in embedded payments, particularly in commercial and fleet-based ecosystems. These trends dramatically increase transaction volume and velocity. They also reduce tolerance for error. In a real-time environment, there is no buffer to correct issues after the fact. Transactions must work the first time. As payments become faster, more automated, and more interconnected, traditional testing approaches struggle to keep up. Manual testing processes and legacy test environments were never designed for AI-driven decisioning, real-time rails, or deeply embedded payment flows. Without robust testing and validation, banks face an uncomfortable trade-off: slow innovation to reduce risk, or accelerate change and accept greater exposure. Neither option is sustainable in a competitive market. This means that payment testing must now be viewed as a strategic capability and critical business enabler, rather than as a technical afterthought. The Payments Dive predictions for 2026 underscore the need for organizational agility and operational confidence. Paragon's solutions directly address these requirements by enabling banks and financial services companies to test and validate new payment messages and transactions before any innovation or changes reach a production environment. Virtual ATM allows institutions to test ATM and card-based transaction flows in controlled environments, ensuring that updates to networks, authorization logic, or integrations do not disrupt the consumer payment experience. Web Fast Test complements this capability by validating complex payment interactions and message flows across diverse systems, helping banks and payment processors confirm that new, innovative capabilities behave as expected under real-world conditions. Together, these products help banks and financial service providers reduce risk and operational uncertainty as payment flows continue to grow faster and more complex. By providing the tools and data to completely test and prove transactions work end to end, Paragon enables payment industry participants to adopt new technologies with confidence rather than hesitation. The 2026 payment forecasts from Visa, MasterCard, ACI, and WEX paint a clear picture of the future: faster payments, smarter systems, and deeper integration into everyday experiences. But they also reveal a parallel truth. Innovation without comprehensive testing and accurate validation introduces unacceptable risk. Payment organizations that succeed over the next several years will not be those that innovate the fastest at any cost, but those that innovate confidently. Robust, reliable testing operations deliver the results to make that confidence possible. Full editorial credit for the industry insights referenced in this article goes to Payments Dive and its reporting on 2026 payments predictions. Thank you for listening today.